We're starting off high.
So we can get a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
You had accountability. Now, what I can...
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where, give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
trust a human to raise a pack of wolves.
Before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo. Welcome back to Do Fools Agree. I am your host, Michael Reggie, here with my man, Cliff Jennings.
What's going on?
And we're going to see if we got him. We got him. Is Matt Fox still on the phone?
Hey.
So we got you. Your video's not coming through at the moment. So
froze.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Right, we had this all going. So I don't know if you want to turn your video off and then back on. And if your video comes through, we'll throw you up on the screen. Otherwise, we'll just keep Cliff and I on the screen and we'll go from there. But how's everyone doing?
Oh.
Listen, I'm still
You're back.
I'm still cough free.
Nah.
Still cough free.
Still cough free around here.
Fever free.
Right.
You know. Listen, I stopped at my neighbor's house the other day for something, and she swiped me with the thing, the the little forehead fever thing. My shit was lower than temperature. My shit was at like a 96 something. I said, am I dying? Or is that broken? Am I dying?
Yeah, it's never good. It's never good when you go to pull it and it says you're at 96.
Oh shit, what the fuck?
Now, what I will tell you is I think there's been research done lately that basically the old 98.6 is inaccurate.
Oh, really?
So we as a species, our body temperature has decreased. It's now like 97.8 is the average or something that makes sense. That. So, and I'm with you. My temperature
I have to do it.
Runs cool.
I have to do it every day.
Oh yeah, to go to work. That's right. Matt's out in the real world.
Right. No, we got the forehead thermometer. The little infrared scanner.
Okay.
Oh,
we hit everybody. We hit everybody when we walk through the door in the morning, and I do it myself, and I do the other boss, and yeah. Everybody's like 96.5 to 97.5 on average.
Okay. So I'm not dying. I was about to say.
Nah. That
fucking great.
I don't know. We're all going cold blooded.
What is that about? Listen, because everybody wilding out here like some snakes in the grass. That's what it is.
That's what it is. We're all just snakes in the grass.
Snakes in the grass. I won't be surprised if some of you motherfuckers don't grow scales in this bitch. You no good lying.
Well, I used to think that, okay, so everybody freaks out about a temperature over 100 now. It's like, that's only 1.4 degrees above average. So what is everybody freaking out about? But if your average is like 97, now you're 3. Okay, so
now
that's a little different.
Yeah, true. I mean, really, like daycares and that kind of stuff, the rule is if they're over 100, you're not supposed to send them.
Well, that makes sense now if you're 96.
Right.
But at 98.9...
Right, you could just run a degree off of everybody else, especially when you're little.
Now, my question is, if your temperature runs lower, does that mean you get hot easier?
I don't know how that would
or is that just
I
a
run
me
hot as
thing?
shit.
I think that's just a you
That might
thing.
be a me and Matt thing. Fools might agree on that, Matthew, because I'm a hot
brother.
son of a bitch.
Dude,
yeah.
It takes a lot to get me cold.
I'm with you there.
Right.
But that's part of being almost 300 pounds, so you know.
I don't think I've had a actual coat in years.
No.
I'm a hoodie guy.
I am too.
Hoodies are the zip ups.
Well, and even when I was living in Pittsburgh, that's what I rocked.
Yeah. If it gets real cold, I'll put a hoodie on and then my zip up over the hoodie.
Right. I feel you.
I always chalked it up for me anyway. Growing up in Cleveland, it's just cold as shit.
Right.
All the damn time. But no, I don't know.
My people aren't like that though.
Nah. Family they don't run hot like you.
No, my grandfather, but that's the only one out of everybody.
And he's a big dude.
Right.
He's a big dude.
You could leave me out in the cold. I don't think I'd even have hypothermia.
Not as long as you had a couple of drinks in you.
Right. I think I might form a snow blanket and pull it up over my.
Get that beer jacket on.
Tuck myself in.
Right. Oh man! So, any inadvertent thoughts this week, gentlemen?
Let me think on it.
I got a couple actually. I wrote them down.
Oh, look at Matt!
Listen,
Matt's making us all look bad over here.
He might, because this is the
all right.
scratching of a madman I have on this.
The Mad Titan, Cliff Jennings over here.
Right, I don't know what the fuck.
Okay, so I was driving around Southern Ohio earlier this week.
Why?
Segue.
Because I lost 5 fucking drivers and I'm on deck to take deliveries and shit for plants around Ohio.
Gotcha.
So down by Chillicothe and
Segue.
Yeah. Here's my inadvertent thought. If you have a White Castle in your town that is slammed in the middle of the afternoon, there's one of 3 things happening in your town. Either you got a lot of potheads in your town.
Right.
Number 1.
Pot is not the drug of choice in Chillicothe.
No, it's not.
Well, mid-pandemic,
True.
White Castle is slammed at 2:00 in the afternoon. So my other theory is that with everybody being home, there's a lot of motherfuckers out there being day drunk.
I mean, that's probably true.
Because that's the only time I ever had White Castle.
Why are you looking like that, Cliff? You look like you had a thought. Nope. He's zipping it back up.
Oh, wait a minute. Is he a White Castle fan?
Oh, of course, but that's not what I was zipping my lips up about. But wait for this fucking segue. It's like you pitched Big Poppy an underhand, and Big Poppy's about to smack
He's
it.
eyeing it up. He's waiting. He's licking his lips.
Right.
I almost might be answering the question as to what. Stop. So, segue. My inadvertent thought of the week. Just found out.
Wait, I thought Matt had 3 options. We only got 2 of them.
We gotta rotate. We gotta rotate in and out on this one. Just found out down in certain areas, gas stations put blue lights in the bathroom.
Huh?
Why would they put blue lights in the bathroom?
Blue lights for emergency? Like parking lot blue lights, or what are we talking?
Blue lights in the bathroom, like
actual in the bathroom, like real lights, not like an alarm light.
No, like blue lights in the bathroom. Why? Give you a guess. Why?
Is it like a black light?
To see bodily fluid kind of thing?
So you can't shoot heroin.
Because you can't see it?
Because you can't see your veins.
In the blue light. Ah. Okay.
So it'd be a waste of time to shoot and pass out in the bathroom because you may miss and waste your shit.
Right.
So you're not going to take that chance. So
we're not going to the same public bathroom.
I've never seen that, which is my inadvertent thought. Why in the Denial, Ohio, would we not be supporting Blue Lives Matter in the bathroom? That's what I'm trying to fucking figure out.
Denial, Ohio needs the blue lights.
I don't fucking get it.
That's a good call.
Inadvertent. Listen, you set me up, bro. I just had to I was wondering, like, why aren't our bathrooms cripping? If it's that big, the opioid epidemic. Because if we're really getting into chili coffee, we all know where this starts, and it ends with blue lights in the bathroom. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Or a lot of you motherfuckers' pupils is so dilated, you don't need lights in the bathroom.
Right, they're looking like cats.
If you don't know what I'm talking about or can't differentiate between the two, that's on you, ladies and gentlemen. That's on you.
I'm not a junkie or anything, but I'm thinking there's an easy way around that with just using, the flashlight on your phone.
The flashlight? Like turning the light off and then...
I mean, it's hard to hold the phone and find a vein, right?
Listen, first of all, we're talking...
I guess not if you're looking on your arm, yeah, but I guess if you're looking at your toes or whatever, you could still do it.
Or if you, like...
Right. Yeah.
So if you see somebody... No, I'm not going to say... If you see somebody with a cracked phone in a city where they have blue lights in the bathroom...
Now you know.
Intervention, ladies and gentlemen.
Now you know.
Get them some help.
And knowing is half the battle. So what was the third option, Matt?
Then you got a city full of fat ass lazy motherfuckers.
Well, yeah.
But White Castle though, it'd be different if. Now listen, you
gotta be messed up. You gotta be messed up to want White Castle in the middle of the damn day.
No, you're absolutely right.
So
Something's off. Something's off.
So true story. I once went to a White Castle at 9:30 in the morning and ordered a Crave crate.
Were you out before the night before? He never went home. He never went home the night before.
Wait. No, it ain't even like that. It ain't even like that. So I bought a Crave crate. No, a case is 30 hamburgers. A crate is 100. Have you ever had somebody look at you going into White Castle at 10 a.m. and ordering 100 sliders, 50 cheese, 50 regulars?
I would have quit. I'd have said,
oh my God.
So it was the year that the Harold and Kumar movie came out. And my entire floor in my dorm at college had never had White Castle. So there are no White Castles in Western PA. So I bought 100 burgers, drove back to Pittsburgh with them in the car. Now I'm not gonna lie, about 10, 20 didn't quite make it back to Pittsburgh, but the rest got divvied up when we got to the dorm.
Shit, I'd have been charging like.
What? You think I wasn't?
I knew you. Listen,
cheers.
Baby. We do.
First time I ever had White Castle was in my buddy's basement when I was like 16, and we were just stoned as fuck. And his mom came down and had this bag of burgers and just tossed them on the pool table. And we were just
like she's throwing them to sharks.
Right.
Oh,
she probably, little did you know, they probably had a security cam and they were gambling on which one would survive down in the...
She fucking knew.
It's like the old dice games back at the Reggie house.
Oh my God, dude. I freaked the fuck out, man. It was like the greatest thing I ever had in my life.
Yeah, if you're not in your right mind...
Unpopular opinion, White Castle's not that good.
It depends on what state of perspective.
It's amazing.
Perspective is key, my brethren.
I was always more a Taco Bell guy when I was drinking.
No.
Because you didn't have a White Castle around.
Yeah,
right.
No, I need
that's true. Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah, the Taco Bell
meal was the thing.
Walking over.
Right.
Was it walking?
It was walking distance from the house in Pittsburgh. That's right. That and Get Go. Mm-hmm. And Get Go was 24 hours. And they had that made-to-order kitchen. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many nights ended in.
You seriously... You got to have like an army of people to feed, because it sounds like when you're like really fucked up and you say like, oh yeah, 32 burgers, I would smash those, and then you get them and you get about 5, 6 in, you're just like, all right, I'm getting kind of full.
Nah,
you may make it to 10 and you're done.
Matt, you're not a real fat kid. As somebody that has had 3 Chipotle burritos, as somebody that has had 100 wings in one sitting. somebody who has had a Taco Bell 10-pack of soft tacos by himself. Like,
I mean, that's
I'll tell you what. No, the 100 wings is impressive. That's
impressive.
The 3 Chipotle burritos, I felt like that.
3 Chipotle burritos, yeah.
Right.
At one time?
Dude, that's like 6,000 calories.
What were you going through?
It was right after a game. It was right after a game.
Okay.
And it was a bet. It was basically, if I could finish 3 of them, it was free.
Oh,
my boys would pay for it.
That at Thurman's.
Thurman's, yeah, the Thurman or the Terminator.
Yeah.
No, and Gresso's, I did that at Gresso's
I tried
too.
That one time.
I seen him take that down.
The Gresso's one was just as bad. It was
was it Gresso's? It was Gresso's.
Yeah, that was the full pound burger and a full pound of fries.
Right.
What's up,
man?
You
guys ever go to like Ohio Deli when it was still open?
No, but I knew that one too. I was looking to do all the food challenges.
I tried that one time.
Yeah.
What was it bad?
That was a fucking...
See, I'm not...
I forget what they call it. It was like a dogwood sandwich or something like that.
Yeah, the Dagwood.
Like a sandwich. Yeah, Dagwood. Yeah. It's fucking like that big.
Comic book character.
Right.
There was the male olive oil.
Right.
Or he was like a sailor too, wasn't he, or something?
I don't remember.
Something. I don't know.
I don't remember.
That's crazy, though.
Well, the sandwich wasn't that bad. It's the damn fries that make you eat with them.
That's the way Gresso's was. It was the pound of fries afterwards.
What got me.
I didn't feel good about myself.
You can't do the whole plate.
I would have to be. Well, see, you know, I'm not a big eater anyway. Now I can eat a lot if I don't eat.
Yeah.
Like if I don't eat for a while. That's why I have to make myself eat even when I'm not hungry, because I'll be thinking if you wait till dinner, you're going to be eating like a dinner and a half.
Right.
And you're still going to want something sweet afterwards, you fat fuck.
See, that's the good thing for me is that I was never big into sweets, but...
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm still not big into it, but I'm not big into eating... I was about to say something.
What were you about to say? You about to say some crazy shit.
I eat like I like my sex. I prefer it after the sun goes down. I prefer it after this. Now, I'm not going to say I won't eat it in the morning or the afternoon. But I prefer it after the sun goes down, is all I'm saying.
Well, speaking of sex, you have any Corona porn updates for this week?
You know what?
Are we going to have our first week without a new update?
I mean, let me just say this. It's not an update. It's not worth an update. It's just amateurs flicking their bean with masks on at this point. You know what I mean? You know Pornhub is paying bread for amateur porn.
No, but
yeah, they pay you if you like submit a porn and they accept it. They'll give you money, you know, off of your upload.
They're trying to stack up all their content right now.
Off of your upload and based on your views or something. They'll pay you.
I mean, that makes sense.
Whoa. If you stop making porn right now, there is too much porn out there for any person.
Nope. Disagree.
No.
Wait. Cliff. We agree.
All right.
That shit old news, bro. We ain't going back in the archives. Where's the new shit? Motherfuckers be like, oh, seen that. Yeah, no. Archives. Where's the new shit?
You always flip to recent instead of relevant, right?
I don't want the classics. I want the new shit. Where's the new?
The new hotness.
Right.
Who was that one comedian that had that bit about, like, if they took down all the porn on the internet, there would just be one website left and be where'd the porn go? There's too much. There's too fucking much.
No, disagree.
It's ridiculous.
We're going to have to mute Matt here soon.
I didn't. That last one broke up a bit. I didn't know. But yeah, no, disagree. Where's that new at? We need that strange. We need that strange, even when it comes to our videos.
Man.
Oh shit, son. Any other inadvertent thoughts, or did we? I don't know. I'm just along for the ride.
Well, Matt said he had a couple. So what else you got, Matt? Inadvertent thoughts.
Related to driving, I have a prediction that once this lockdown lifts, we're going to see the worst traffic we've ever seen in our lives.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And I have a theory on that. So it's due to the people that are still out there driving all the time are getting a little bit crazy.
Because they don't have shit to worry about.
Like, there are tons of cops on the road in the morning, but they're not pulling anybody over. I haven't seen a single person pulled over in 3 weeks.
No, I have.
There's like a million cops out there.
I've seen a couple people pulled over, but they're on your route too, motherfucker. You should be seeing them from your window.
I do. I still hear the sirens. You know, living right at the 70-71 interchange.
Listen, I've seen a couple, but yeah, no, I have seen people. Listen, I've never been a snitch. And
are you sure they weren't stopping to help with a flat tire or something?
All I'm saying is they're pulling people over. Never been a snitch, and I've never really, wouldn't really want to wish jail on people is what I'm getting at.
Right.
But you know how some people do some dumb shit, and you're like, I hope you get pulled over.
Right. I hope you get popped for that. Yeah.
And I've had that happen, and in front of a cop. Like while they're sitting on the little, like in the median on the freeway waiting for somebody to, and just sit there. And I'm like, okay, it's a free for all, I guess.
Right. Nobody's getting pulled over.
Free for all on the road. Or maybe they got race detectors that we didn't know about. Maybe that's what the coronavirus was for. It was a cover up so they could come out with their race detectors. So now they don't even need to see you driving while black. They just got a detector saying a nigga coming 2 miles down the road. Pull him over. They don't even got to see. Just pull him over.
This racism is killing me. You get the best table I've ever gotten this store before.
Oh, man. Dang.
Now, to be fair, I'm only driving like one stretch of highway all the time. And that's it.
It must be 104 going to Chile and shit.
No. 270 down to Grove City and back to Reynoldsburg. I mean, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, every single morning, every turnaround, there's at least 2 cops.
That's because they ain't got shit to do either. Crime rates have fallen.
Right, they probably sleep. They probably painted open eyes on their eyelids and they're just sitting up like this in their cars.
How bad is police officer enforcement going to be, though, when we're all back on the road? Because they haven't been able to hit quotas for 2 months, 3 months.
They're about to go nutty.
Everybody.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
I want to work. I want to work from home for another month.
No, because they got
until they settle
now.
the fuck down.
So now they're gonna know from 2 miles away who's coming. Y'all still don't have anything to worry about. It's all I'm getting at.
Hey man, if they got to meet quota, they got to meet quota. It's not gonna matter who it is.
Yeah. Pay for this stimulus money somehow.
Right. No doubt. I mean, really, that's
saving that check.
Hey now.
Did you find out it's real?
Speaking of which,
it's real.
Did you get your check, Cliff?
I got it.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And that's how I know they're going to take it right back from me when I file my taxes. Because it didn't have no tax taken out of it. It was just a smooth $1,200.
Yep.
Not 12 or not $11.99.99. It wasn't nothing taken out of it.
I think there's fine print attached to this, like, and ain't nobody getting a tax return next year.
Right.
Right. Well, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, no, I doubt. Now,
it's a loan against your future tax returns.
Now, Viva la revolución! If that's what happens, boy,
you already know that's what's happening.
Now, listen, let me tell you something.
I'm waiting for the Dems
You want to know who's
through.
going crazy? Y'all are going to go crazy. The white folks would go crazy if they was like, oh, I don't get nothing back or anything like that because of this stimulus check. Because, you know, this is the one thing I do like about Corona is it's It's leveled everyone out.
It's leveled the playing field.
It's leveled everyone out. The richest motherfuckers in the world are now feeling like, I'm at the whim of the government. Bitch, that's how we've been living
for decades.
And they've been throwing us curveballs on purpose, bitch. I'm not crying for you.
Don't cry for me, Mr. Like Rich White Man.
Now that they actually have to Oliver Twist this bitch and put their hand out for the money. Right? Can I have some more? They gonna be hurt when they get their tax returns.
I'm not sure, and rich people are feeling this at all.
No, that's not the ones. That's not the ones that would ever start the revolution.
No, but here's the thing:
the poor whites.
Matt, I would agree with you, except for the fact that stocks and everything, the way they've been hit. The rich have probably felt this more from a
but they ain't doing shit. What are they going to do?
Net worth perspective than anybody else has.
They're going to hope their money lasts until they get out.
I don't disagree with you.
Swiss bank account.
They're still fine.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm just saying when you look at percentage of wealth that people have lost during this, it's just as bad as it was during the Great Recession.
Well, no, like Bill Maher's biggest complaint, he's like doing his show from his backyard. And he's got like Seth MacFarlane on, and he's video chatting with Bernie Sanders and all these other people. And I'm just like, all these people are doing this from their home, and their biggest complaint is like the maid isn't showing up anymore.
Right. No, there's.
It's like, oh my god, I haven't.
Yeah, well, them. That it's not going to change them. It's not going to change their lifestyle.
No, except the maid isn't coming. There are a couple of them that are having to deal with kids that have never had to deal with kids before.
Where's my nanny?
Right.
I wonder how many. Listen, and it may sound dark, but I'm interested. I don't give a fuck. I wonder how many people have off themselves, and it's not that it's funny a little bit. From being locked up with their kids. Real talk though, I guarantee those numbers are a lot higher than you think. Now you talk about Corona cover-ups or Corona stat padding. What about that suicide from kid rape, that death by child? What about that? I bet that's a lot higher than we all think.
Mine was in rare form today. I mean, you took an hour and a half to cut his hair because he couldn't sit the fuck down.
Listen.
It's all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Right. Something.
Jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Come at you like a flying spider monkey.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I bet that number is a lot higher than motherfuckers think. I bet a lot of people have.
Hey, all right. So we're gonna flip that script around and think about how many kids are getting drowned in the bathtub.
Listen. Now that might be even worse. Really, because it's easier to hide. You know what I mean? You can hide a little person a lot easier. You can hide a big person.
It was the Rona that got him.
Does that get classified as a corona-related death?
It would have to. They just lay him in the bed and put the blanket on and say, the quarantine, they wouldn't even let us out with this quarantine.
Speaking of that, did you hear about the
Italian dude? That's why I said that.
Nah, there was a nursing home.
No, I'm just playing.
There was a nursing home in New Jersey or something that had like 17 bodies stacked up.
What?
That they think it was all from Corona, and they basically didn't want it to get out that the nursing home had been infected.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
Or
conspiracy theory time.
Or the more logical explanation, they roughed them old people up. You know what I'm saying?
Again, Corona is the cover-up.
They was like, this is either my opening to take out old Mr. Gaddis. Old Mr. Gaddis. I used the real name. Lord Jesus, I apologize. God bless the dead. I'm either take him out now, or this was the perfect opportunity for me to pull his body out the broom closet that I've been trying to get rid of for months. But everybody's always here on night shift. Everyone's always here on night shift. Everybody's wondering why the broom closet smells like old meat.
I thought that's just how nursing homes smelled.
That's why nobody questioned or looked in it. Poor old Mr.
Watch,
Gaddis.
We'll get a headline. Corona's turned into a flesh-eating virus. It's consuming old people.
Right. Right. Or at least the evidence. Teeth and fingertips. What's going on with this coronavirus? Teeth and fingertips are coming up missing everywhere. Meanwhile, pig farms are at an all-time low.
I was just thinking that.
Listen, I'm just saying. Shit.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness
Fed them
gracious.
to the tigers.
Fed them to the tigers. Oh, what's her name? Oh, Carol Baskins.
Carol Baskins killed her
Carol
husband.
Baskins.
Fuck you, Carol.
I ain't watch a bit of that. I cut the preview off early, and I know Carol Baskins. I know that.
I think I only got 4 episodes in before I gave up on it.
Yeah, no, it's too much.
Oh no, you gotta keep going, man. Shit gets deeper.
Yeah, everybody's been talking about it.
I heard they just did they just release another episode? I heard rumors that they were.
Everybody's on like webcam.
Kind of like, you know, Walking Dead did the Talking Dead, wrap up thing.
Okay,
basically that's what it is.
Gotcha.
They do like follow up interviews with all the people that were.
Yeah, man. I gave up on Tiger King. I flipped over to Ozark. That's some good shit.
Man, I just
What?
What's the name? The dude Akash Singh said it great from Flagrant 2, the Flagrant 2 podcast. He said that Ozarks is just Breaking Bad without the interesting drug making. You know what I mean?
actually think that Ozark is better than Breaking Bad from a storytelling perspective, and I think it gets deeper into like crime syndicates and that kind of shit.
Now I will say I could see
like Breaking Bad, they showed you the chemistry, but like from a plot perspective,
I could see why you say from a storytelling perspective, because a lot of Breaking Bad, I was lost. I didn't finish Breaking Bad.
I believe it, because there are points where it just gets boring
right in the story, and I was like, what's good? Like it almost felt like they were adding shit in.
What'd you say?
You gotta follow Breaking Bad, man.
No,
there's some slow parts. But
I
like,
finished
the entire series all the way to the end is fucking.
Follow
good.
Breaking Bad. I've been to Chilla Coffee.
And for the record,
that's season 1 through 6 right there.
Nah, man, I finished Breaking Bad
at the White Castles, 12 p.m.
Nah, I finished Breaking Bad. I mean, it was good, but thus far, I think Ozark's a better show.
You know what?
I see. That's one show I haven't gotten into, and because
you
of you
can't.
I feel like I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yes,
you
need to give it
because of you two.
You need to give it a shot.
I watched like
the way you've been raving
I watched
about
2 or 3 episodes, and I was like,
that's my thing. If you're not into a show by episode 3, it's not going to be for you. But I was like hook, line, and sinker after episode 2.
Oh, see,
Happy.
I have not watched it yet.
Man,
I have not watched it yet.
Are you serious? For the sake of the cast, talking about Ozark.
I have a wife.
Ozarks is like
child.
Ozarks is like Trolls. While Happy is like Corona porn.
Now, meanwhile, I did watch Trolls World Tour last week.
Right.
Dude, Happy is definitely Corona porn, man. Like, you just can't take your eyes off it. It's one of the funniest fucking shows I've ever seen in
It's
my
not
life.
that I don't want to watch it. Y'all don't understand. My wife and I, even though we're stuck at home together, we spend maybe an hour and a half together every night.
You can't watch
right,
that
so
with
when
your
the
wife.
fuck am I going to watch it? Right, exactly.
Hey, I feel your pain, Mike.
I've been in meetings
this
7 hours a day for the last month and a half.
This is why I'm not with anyone.
Mike, I gotta pull strings to get this 2-hour block to do this.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like,
I'm sure.
I got to pull extra hours overtime.
The only reason this works for me.
I'd be like, I'm an essential employee. You better sit your motherfucking ass down. Cook that motherfucking food. And make sure my son ain't crying. Stop giving me the lip. I'm just playing.
Oh, man. Nah, I'm with you, Matt. Like, the only reason we were able to get it going was that this was Char's soccer night. She plays soccer on Friday nights. So the original deal was I'd put Andrew to bed, and then I'd hop up here with Cliff because she was gone. Now, yeah, she doesn't really have an issue with us doing it.
I'll
but
pat him up here while we do the podcast.
Except you know him.
Give it another.
If he's around people, he won't stop. He'll be running. The camera over there will be over there. This camera will be on the ground down the fucking hallway. What are you going to do?
Either one of these or Benny.
No, you have Andrew on as a guest. You have Andrew on as a guest appearance. I'll bring Hendrix in.
Right, there you go.
It'll be madness.
But meanwhile, my review of Trolls World Tour.
On One Fool's Opinion next week.
It wasn't that good.
It wasn't.
No.
But you like the movie, huh? It was the second one?
It was the second one. The first one I thought was better. This one was kind of I mean, I think the music was just as good. The story was weak.
Right. You said the hair up shit or whatever.
Hair up. Nah, so that was what I watched in Ozark because I only got time for 2.
You know what's crazy is
well, squeeze in some time for Happy episode 1, and if you don't like it,
well, now that meetings are starting to die down, like we are finally wrapping up this project that we've been doing for 2 months at work. I should have some opening on my calendar that maybe I can sneak it.
If you're not interested in the first 10 or 15 minutes,
won't be interested.
It's not for you.
All right.
It's not.
Like I told him in a text after the last one where you brought it up. It was like, if you don't love this show within 15 to 30 minutes,
it's not worth your
time.
time.
I love Stabler.
Just turn it off.
Benson Stabler. I love Stabler.
Right.
I don't mean. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was about to say I don't mean from Law and Order. I'm not a big Law and Order fan. That's just all I know him as. Stabler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like that's the only thing you like. I've seen
from Harold and Kumar.
It's that and like Wet Hot American Summer.
He's the Law and Order guy.
That was. Listen.
Yes. Wet Hot American Summer. That's the other thing that he's epic in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that Harold and Kumar. That I feel like that was that I laughed the hardest at that part.
Is he in the first one?
Yeah, the one where he's driving. He said I heard everything you said.
Oh.
In the car.
No, that's
him. Yes, that's him.
That's him?
Yes, it is.
What?
Yes, it is. The one that tried to make him have sex with his wife, and he was fixing her car.
Yeah, you're right.
That's him.
God.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
That's him.
That's crazy, man. They did a crazy makeup job.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right.
That was the hardest I laughed in that whole movie was from him.
Right.
When they were in that car.
I like that we've mentioned.
No.
Wow.
Jamie Kennedy. That was the hardest. I laughed when he was pissing in the bushes with him.
Oh, come on. No, when Neil Patrick Harris jumps in the car.
No.
That's like one of the funniest moments.
When they were pissing in the bushes.
He walks right next to it.
I laughed so hard at that scene. I rewound it back like over and over again. Like that scene in the same as that scene was the same to me as Tropic Thunder with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
When he was playing the black dude, and he said, "Any tips? Any tips you got?" He said he was buff. Any tips? Any tips you got? I rewound that shit, no joke, at least 15 times.
Yeah.
Oh, I had piss in my drawers at the end of that. There were little
Tropic Thunder was the funniest fucking movie.
Yeah. Man, listen, those 2 scenes. That shit was funny as fuck, though, is all I know.
I actually just heard Robert Downey Jr. on Rogan's podcast like 2 months ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I meant to tell you back and watch that episode.
They were talking about whether or not Tropic Thunder would even be possible today.
It wouldn't. PC culture wouldn't let it get away.
It would, but once again, it would be white women that would have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It would be white women that would have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s position on it.
Now listen, that's what I was about to say. If it was anybody other than Robert Downey Jr., I'm sure the black population would have
had a problem with it.
Well, no. He said that he talked to his black friends, and he said 90% positive.
Right.
But there was definitely 10%. 10% of his black friends were like, "What the fuck did you do?" And what did we say?
And that's the thing, though. They didn't feel any different about him. They were just concerned for him. Like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Someone might fuck you up. I won't. Right. But somebody might.
Right. Maybe. I just don't want to. I just don't think you should do it, Rob. Is all I'm saying. Bob, put it in the back pocket.
It's probably close to some of the things.
Meanwhile, everybody else was like, "That was the funniest shit I've ever fucking." He said, and he did it perfectly. He said, "Any tips? Any tips you got?" Like that shit was so fucking funny.
Nobody goes.
Oh my god.
He said that he was talking to Ben Stiller about that, and the funniest part about that is that Ben Stiller got more flack about the retard bit, Simple Jack, than he got for being black.
Listen, but the crazy man, listen. It don't matter. I'm not gonna say that. We'll stay away from that one. We'll stay away from it. Because, I mean...
I couldn't believe that when he said it. I was like, really?
Let me be honest.
That's what everybody...
Let me say
about?
this. And I'll be mature at this very moment.
Oh, just this moment, though.
Just this one. That was a pretty ill movie around that specific topic. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, even when he did Simple Jack, it was like, oh, you're going in. Like, you're... like
you never go full retard, man.
It was like, even if that's what you assumed full retard to be for the sake of the conversation, right. That wasn't like a satirical comedy. Like, you're sinning is what you're doing. He had the big teeth in and all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like Robert Downey Jr. had white paint around his lips talking about any tips you got. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what you did with that.
True.
You know what I mean?
You confused.
So you should have gotten more flack for Robert Downey Jr. because first of all, you're the writer and the producer.
Right.
You created this. You could have said that may be a little too much.
We might have gone too far there.
You just cast Rob, and Rob was the one to say, "Yeah, I'll do it." Now you, on the other hand, was like, "Nah, this doesn't look good. Give me some big teeth."
Nah, we didn't go full retard. Let's go full retard.
Right, exactly. You know that's exactly what he said too. Nope, that scene just didn't do it for me. It didn't do it. More drool, more like what? Come on, Ben. I don't care. Don't get me wrong. I love a lot of Ben Stiller.
You falling in bathtubs and laughing your ass off.
So
I love that.
So I've heard the best part about Tropic Thunder though is watching the director's commentary where Robert Downey Jr. stays in character the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh God, I haven't seen that. You?
No. Do I even still have the DVD?
I don't break character until I do the DVD commentaries.
Listen.
That's basically it. So he plays the
black dude?
No, he plays the Australian who's playing the black dude.
Okay.
He plays the character.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Nah. I want it all in the black dude, or I'm not interested.
I remember being ridiculously stoned for that movie when I first went to see it in the theater, and I don't know, the rest of the theater was kind of not laughing as loud as I was. I thought that movie just ridiculously funny. I was falling out of my chair laughing.
Tropic Thunder was when I had first got with the mother of my child.
Yeah, that timeline fits.
And she went with me to my father's house, and my father had a DVD burner.
Because your dad has the scrambler, the burner, everything.
He's not playing. Let's get it. But we didn't have cable at the time, so I went to whatever the store was and bought
the red box,
100 pack of the DVDs.
Oh, of the blank DVDs, yeah.
And I burnt as many as I could and left him the rest of the pack.
Stack, yeah.
And I probably came home with at least 50 movies.
That's not bad.
I stayed up all night doing that shit.
My buddy Luke does a lot of that shit, so.
I stayed up all night doing that shit.
Yeah.
And who even needs to do that anymore? I mean, you can just get an Amazon Fire Stick and jailbreak that thing.
Well, yeah, now.
Right.
Now. But, I mean,
we're talking 20 years ago. 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't 20 years ago. 20 years ago, fucking 2000?
Yeah,
10, 15, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting old now.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
20 years ago, I was burning mix CDs or burning Cliff's music
right?
into the night.
Or sleep while I did it.
While Cliff did it.
Listen.
Whatever, man. I had the technology. You were the labor.
Listen, you put your work in.
And the talent.
You did everything we needed you to do. But I definitely remember everybody passed out in that studio, and I'm in there like... It was to the point that I was waking up every so often.
Every 10 minutes looking at the drive, seeing if it... Because that was the one that where when you finished burning it, it used to pop out.
Right, and that's how I knew, okay, now ding. Okay.
Next one.
Like a toaster oven.
Right, exactly what it was.
Man,
we burned hundreds of those fucking things, if not 1,000.
Yeah, it could.
Remember when there was that case that you had to put the CD in to stick it into the computer?
Oh yeah, I had one of those.
Way back in the day when they first came out with CD-ROMs.
Yeah, you had to basically put the CD into like.
Well, I'm not the first Xbox guy. I wait till the Xbox fucks up
and
they redo it. I don't ever get the shit when it first comes out.
Gen 2.
I'm 34 years old and I still don't get the shit when it first comes out. Not always because I would like to say I'm smart, so I don't get the first bunch.
No,
I just don't have the money.
That's the way.
Always. That's not to always get it.
Right.
That's the excuse
I agree. Never go with the beta version of anything.
No. And I will tell you that
that's the Red Ring Xbox.
Right. The Xbox One that I have downstairs was an early purchase when it first came out, and the fucking drive on it, the disc drive on it, burned out after 6 months.
Something.
Okay. Hold up. I got a comment to make on the Xbox Red Ring.
Okay.
So they actually designed this system so that ring turns red. Like if it was like an unexpected failure, it would just crash and do nothing.
Right.
But no, we kind of expected this to happen, so we actually designed this LED that normally just turns green to actually turn red when this thing fucks up.
I see what you're saying. I see exactly.
Because we know it'll fail.
That was my red flag.
Right.
Like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, no, I see. I completely overlooked that. Never thought of it like that. I'm just thinking that's a cool feature. So they let you know when your shit's
fucked.
But they know that the shit's gonna fuck up. It's almost like iPhones.
It's a whole problem. This planned obsolescence shit.
But the flip side is on that, they actually were very good about replacing it.
They were.
Yeah, it
I
took
remember,
time, but they would replace every single fucking unit.
I did remember that.
So what the hell is the point? If they were willing to again, I don't understand
money, capital.
We need to
keep up with PlayStation. PlayStation clearly has their shit polished and ready to go. Ours isn't.
Well,
and I think release it just to compete.
And I think that's honestly what ends up happening is they try to come out within X amount of time between each other.
Right.
And so they release it knowing that it still has issues.
Listen, if they were smart, and I'm sure they do this, I'm sure they do. I'm sure I'm not the guy that thought of it. I would be like, PlayStation set the launch December 21st. then September I'd be like, PlayStation now out in stores. Just so Xbox is like, what the fuck? We were waiting on December.
Right.
You dropped it 2 months early.
But then that's exactly what would happen though. Is they'd pull it up 2 months. And they wouldn't be through all their QA yet. They wouldn't be through all their quality assurance and all that shit.
I would plan for that.
Yeah.
I would plan, we'll cut out this last little...
It was actually a part of some of the business classes I went through, and so, it's all a part of price point. Mm-hmm. So if you want to design a product, you design it with the idea of how much are we going to have to charge for this damn thing.
Right.
And so you actually decide, okay, do we want to put this higher quality metal in for this circuit board that's going to last, 150 million hours, or do we want to drop the price on this thing $200 so we can sell it to a more price sensitive market, and we'll just hey, this shit's going to die after 1,000 hours.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's why you see such a rise in like microtransactions, and why Xbox Live is an extra fee, and why because they know they are actually selling the hardware at a loss. Excuse me. So they actually sell.
There's no fucking way they make it all in China.
What I'm saying is when it first comes out, they are selling it at a loss. In 90% of new console releases, they actually sell it at a loss. Between the R&D and the actual materials. Now, the R&D cost is a big portion of that.
What's
I'm not
R&D
saying
for,
research and development.
Okay, so
okay.
I got 2 cents I want to throw in on that. So R&D, okay, granted, upfront R&D. When you made the first iteration, you got that sunk cost. But how much R&D is going into the second iteration when nothing really changed? You had some software upgrades, but the hardware didn't really change.
But I think that's also why you actually see the cost come down over time, right?
I have to use the bathroom.
Some of that is...
This is a Caucasian conversation. Continue with your R&Ds and all the numbers. I got to use the bathroom.
Oh, man.
We're going to get conspiratorial on the economics here.
No, I mean... So, generally speaking, most of the consoles that get sold, at least the last 2 generations of consoles, were actually sold at a loss for both PlayStation and Xbox for the raw materials to make the consoles. It's not a huge loss, at least for the first generation, the first implementation, like the first ones that get made. Now, yes, they correct the supply chain. They work on the supply chain. They gain efficiencies as they continue to produce, etc. But the first couple, or the first...
How many they got going now?
In terms of like the number of units, right? The number of units, or how many versions of like the Xbox they've done?
How many versions? Yeah, like how many versions have they done so far?
Of the Xbox One, I think there's 4 or 5, and that's not including ones that weren't
Xbox
like
One wasn't
releases.
Even the first one.
Well, yeah, no, and I think what I'm saying is each new console generation. So like the PS3 to the PS4, when they first introduced those. They sell it, usually it's at a loss. Not a huge loss, but they're not exactly kind of covering their costs on the consoles. Because they expect to make it up in the microtransactions and the network fees in terms of whether it's Xbox Live or the other things that you can do with it. And it's gaining the market so that when they have console exclusives, Microsoft is getting a percentage of those sales. You know what I mean? So that's where you start to see all that kind of balance out.
I haven't been exactly following Microsoft's market share or even their stock price, but I can imagine that since 2005 to 2020, it's gone up significantly. I mean, pandemics aside, right. Go back 3 months.
No, and I mean, generally speaking, like, Gates even
in fact,
wait a minute, away half his wealth.
Have tech stocks even taken a dive? They're like the ones that are still, they're the ones that are doing the best in the here. Because we're all at home utilizing your shit.
Right. Everybody has taken a huge hit, but they have not taken as big a hit as everyone else. Like Netflix even, that was the crazy one to me, is that Netflix still took a huge hit, but they've been at least higher than some of the other tech stocks for exactly what you're saying. I think technology stocks in general have fared better than the rest of the market, but... everybody took a hit. I mean, shit, our fucking stock price where I work dropped 40% from $105 down to like $30.
Buy them low, sell them high.
Damn.
Buy them low, sell them
really
high.
dropped that much?
I know that much.
Well, but we follow the exact market trends.
Hey, now's the time to invest. Like
no
this is what I'm saying. Like with this whole crash, I have my conspiratorial mind is pumping away on what's going to come out of this. Small businesses are done.
I think it's possible.
I mean, a lot of them are done anyway. If this keeps going for another month, which it will, you're going to see, like small businesses make up like 90% of the economy. And you're going to see a gigantic portion of them go away.
It depends on what you mean by 90%. If you mean volume
90%
dollar
of
value.
all businesses,
Yes.
But no, like basically they're gonna go away by volume. Like the 10% of companies that make up the big dogs are gonna really
I'm
take out the rest.
I'm with you.
I mean, but that's why they're giving those small business loan forgiveness.
That's what they're supposed to be doing.
Oh, they haven't done that?
I've heard that it's very difficult to actually get that to go through.
That shit's gonna go through. They're gonna go through that so fast. Like that 1 point. Okay, so there's $2.2 trillion in the stimulus package. Or $1 trillion of that went to individuals. 1.2 went to businesses. Like 300 billion of that. I don't know. Don't quote me on the number here, but something like that went to just airlines.
Right. And there's not a whole lot of small business airlines.
Fuck them.
I mean, no. But you're talking about a third of the stimulus bailout to all businesses went to airlines.
Yeah, which is crazy.
But I mean, hey, without the airlines, shit don't move. Seriously, we rely heavily on airlines.
But the flip side of that is the ones that we rely on in terms of shipments of goods and those kind of things, they're not stopped right now. Like they're still transporting goods.
Trains, boats, like anything overseas. Yeah, they're still moving.
But is that a risk? Is that a real risk?
No,
cargo
not really.
shipments?
What do you mean?
Not really. What I mean?
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Is they're still doing it.
Oh, okay. You were just saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you were saying.
Yeah, passenger aircrafts have taken a hit, but.
And you didn't stop.
Dude, I just heard a podcast where a dude was the only person on a flight from Boston to L.A.
My whole thing.
Only person on a flight.
Thing is this: you didn't stop. You didn't shut down.
Right.
So why do you deserve?
What are you talking about? Wait, who? Who didn't stop? Who didn't shut down?
The planes.
The airlines didn't shut down.
Yeah, dude. Delta, United, they have like virtually their entire fleets grounded.
Virtually their entire, but they're still providing flights to whomever would still be brave enough to
maybe like 5 planes at any given high profile terminal.
You can still buy a ticket right now, though. I mean, I can log on right now and I can buy a ticket right now.
I mean, basically, it's my mom and your dad that are the only ones flying.
So my whole thing is, if you yourself are, essentially supporting the spread of the virus, why do you deserve a bail?
That's kind of what I'm saying. And I think on top of that, like,
you don't deserve a bailout.
I think it's interesting that like you get. There is no person. There are 95% of the people in this country are. What is it? It's 3 months of missed pay away from bankruptcy or from not being able to survive.
Yeah, three paychecks.
3 paychecks.
Just 3 paychecks.
That's what it is.
Months.
It's 3 paychecks. So, but
right.
businesses can't like survive through. Like what I find interesting is, and this is a credit to the company that I work for. Like we have basically stress tested our business that we could be in a recession for 12 months and still be around. Now that doesn't mean Mike has a job still as part of that, but the company itself is built in such a way that it could survive for 12 months of an economic
still,
downturn.
I mean, look at they're able. You have a specific company that's able to operate while you're at home, and what percentage of the rest of the workforce is still at home, and the company remains in operation, you're still generating revenue. But you're talking about like little spots, like my dad's business, and he was just talking about this. I'm sure he's listening. Hey, Dad.
What up, Dad?
What's going on?
But he's talking about like he's struggling right now, man. This is taking a big toll for him
because he can't go and take
to the point where it's
He can't go.
Well,
and
no,
take
his
photos.
clients, his clients can't move. They can't come to him with stuff. All this.
My whole thing,
it's not good.
Yeah.
And he's a photographer. That's one of those things that's like, you would think that you could do that digitally and continue to keep the wheels moving. Right. But no.
But if his
and that's just one.
Yeah, if his clients aren't willing to have him come to their place and take the pictures, yeah.
Well, not that he even wants to go.
Right.
He wants to, crouch down on the island and chop wood.
I had that conversation with my mom because she was out there in Washington where the outbreak was, and she wanted to fly. I mean, she ended up flying home, and I'm like, I don't know that going through the airport's the best idea when you're
right.
60 plus. Now, my mom is also in better shape than any one of the three of us.
100. 100.
For real. Something tells me that her lungs would laugh at coronavirus.
But
Right.
nonetheless, it'd be safer and almost...
Be safer for her just to run from Washington back to Columbus.
She could do it. I was about to say...
Looking like Forrest Gump.
To make sure that you don't have
I was about to say she could always take my best friend, the Greyhound. I'll stay on the ground.
Oh, come on. You really want to get on a fucking bus right now? That's the craziest thing. I'm driving around town and I still see Coda running.
Yeah,
that's right.
But Coda also
Greyhound's different though.
But Coda also has signs all over, because I see them because I do my 3 to 4 mile walk in the morning. They all say essential service only. I only see 2 to 3 people on that bus. And that's the one on Broad Street.
No, not always.
I'm just saying, that's the one on Broad Street at 7:15, 7:30 in the morning.
I don't doubt that they're not doing something along the lines of essential employees only, but I've seen some packed bus stops.
Have you?
So how do you prove that you're an essential employee only to the bus driver?
I've seen bus stops with 6-7 people with masks on.
Okay.
Dude, I'm out here in Reynoldsburg, man, and Broad Street, Main Street, there's 5 people at each bus stop.
Okay.
Not the morning. My morning's 10:30, 11.
No, see, my morning.
First break.
My morning is during a normal period of time would be shift change. So that's where I would expect to see people because I'm there just before 7 when I'm on my walks.
Well, see, you even gotta account for travel, so that would be 5:30, 5:20 packed.
True.
And we wouldn't see that.
We
don't know what those look like.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Well, I'm starting to think that people in Ohio are just starting to not give a shit because I was driving down Broad Street over here in Reynoldsburg 3 days ago. Making a drop over at one of our retail stores, and Broad Street, I mean, you guys don't get out here that much, but Broad Street from outside 270 all the way to Pataskala is a madhouse.
Is it really?
All day, every day. It's fucking 3 lanes of just madness.
Now, see, I can literally look out my window and see the 70-71 interchange, and I have not seen traffic at all over the last month.
No,
I don't know what it is, man. But I was on I was on Broad the other day, and it didn't. I couldn't even tell anything was going what pandemic.
That's because talking about up past the Krispy Kreme and all that, way up there,
dude.
Damn near. Towards,
exactly.
Would be
exactly right by Krispy Kreme there. Fucking that whole stretch from the hospital all the way past Target.
Well, you also got to think
3-mile stretch was just jam packed with cars.
A lot of those people that work at that hospital are directly around that neighborhood. You know what I mean? From the
operational personnel, nurses, janitors, security. You're probably right.
Reynoldsburg, New Albany is full of apartments and condos.
Yeah, you're right.
So I would imagine it's always going to be traffic because they're. And then that's a major
right by the hospital.
You know what I mean? I have to get through there to get to.
That's not there. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, I don't mean to sound like a know-it-all or anything, but I fucking live here.
Right. No, I get it.
It's bad all the time. When it's normal operation. There is no rush hour. It's always rush hour.
Wait, it's like that in my neighborhood. A lot of the people don't give a fuck about that. And, I mean, if I'm being 100% honest, I understand them. first of all, if everything, well, I won't even say everything, but if 75% of what the information that they give us is true,
right,
then we know chances are we made a joke about it a couple episodes ago, but this is an economic disease. The poor being the poor. The only reason why the poor are dropping off are because we're in public housing. And I don't mean we as in myself, but I mean like the poor are in public housing. You live on top of each other. If one person gets that in your building, those vents are connected to each other.
Right.
If one person gets that in that building, it's a chance that whole building goes down. And we all know what races those are. Those are black and brown folks in there.
Yeah.
That's why the numbers are doubled for minorities. It's not because minorities are more
Which, by the way, a month ago we were talking about.
Couldn't get it.
Right.
Couldn't get it.
We said that was a white infiltration of black Twitter.
I didn't say that they couldn't get it. I didn't say they couldn't get it. I think that would be the smartest thing for somebody to do that would want to wipe out a whole bunch of you.
Right.
Y'all can't get this.
Well, I can't speak to.
Yeah.
I can't speak to the black population, but we have a bunch of Hispanics working at the greenhouse right now through the temp agency, and only about 20 of them right now, and they all just like they don't practice social distancing at all.
Well, they can't
at all. Like
there's only two
no,
cars.
They can. Like they no.
And no joke about it. You got to think it's a lot of people in per house. Per house.
No. I'm talking about in the greenhouse.
Actually, in
we
the
have
greenhouse.
Well, we have signs posted everywhere. We've explained it to everybody. Like, hey, you guys stay 6 feet away from everybody.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying though. When this is, and it's funny. I'm glad you said this because, the guy Andrew Schultz, Flagrant 2, love him to death. He can
brilliant idiots, but go ahead.
Flagrant 2
I know I know.
Idiots, but he can have some skewed perspectives. He said one of the most profound things, and not profound as in intelligent, but profound as in it was almost revelatory. Like for him, for me, it was like that one situation where I was like, thank you that you finally got it. He says this. He says, I saw a video of, I can't remember what the celebrity's name was, on a yacht telling people to stay in their house.
Was that? Yeah.
And he said, that's when I realized that's like white people telling blacks how not to get shot by police.
Yep.
You don't
Amen.
Exactly.
Amen.
You don't know anything
that's a fantastic point.
You can't relate. You don't know anything about that, so don't speak on it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, in that situation, when he had that thought, it was like this is almost what people have been trying to explain for the longest. You know what I mean? If you just don't understand it, don't speak about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in situations like this where you can say, as a person with generational wealth, race has nothing to do with it. If you have generational wealth in general, chances are you have enough money for a summer home in Florida. Right. Or a yacht down off the Keys. You don't have to stay home in your house with 8 people that live in a 2-bedroom. Never mind you that your neighbor's door is less than 2 feet across from yours.
Right. Not to mention the ventilation's all connected.
And you want me to stay home?
Right.
It'd almost be safer for me to say, fuck y'all.
I'm going to go
I'm out.
Right. In public.
And that's what I think they should do. That's what I think everybody should do. Fuck a home quarantine.
But I mean,
you aren't gonna kill me just cause I'm in a low population situation. I'm in a situation where I can't get more for myself at the moment. I'm not gonna die because y'all didn't think about me.
Right.
If that means I have to put y'all at risk, y'all are at risk. Y'all should have thought about this before you scheduled and built a building with 20 floors full of 15 apartments per building.
Yeah.
What did you think was gonna happen? This isn't on me. This is on y'all. So if I choose to be out in the public, fuck you. Do something about it.
Right.
Well, I don't know if they had pandemics in mind when they built those buildings.
Why not?
No,
Why not?
They had profits in mind.
Why exactly? Why not?
Yeah,
Why not? We had already been beyond. There were no 20-story buildings back in 1917. Back when that flu came around.
Right.
And you thought that it'd be smart not to add more critical condition areas, but to build buildings 20 stories high and put minorities in them.
Look at economics.
Eventually, that's going to get to y'all too.
Right.
Look at how much they didn't prepare for this. Given everything that we've experienced since, SARS in 2003 and MERS 2008, 1918, Spanish flu, that wasn't even on the radar.
You live in a capitalist society and people won't thrive, like the Renaissance, like when all that shit happened, until we kill it. We have to kill it. I'm not saying that means physically kill people.
No.
But we have to kill that capitalist mentality. It has to be murdered. And I
think we need to murder. I think we can merge socialism and capitalism in a nice way.
Murder it.
Well,
I'm not saying communism or anything like that. No, keep the money you gain. But at the same time, I do agree with the Bernies and the Andrew Yangs, where the more money you make, you need to be taxed more.
Absolutely.
People are starving.
Absolutely.
Just because you make more doesn't mean that we can't take a little bit more out of your pocket.
And until the late 50s, it worked in the U.S. too.
Offshore accounts, anybody with an offshore account should be jailed. Just like tax evasion, you should be jailed.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. We'll go back to some stuff that happened. 4 years ago? The Panama Papers. It was like a huge.
Nothing ever happened from. Nothing happened from.
Nothing happened. It was big for like 2 weeks, and then Kim Kardashian did something, and then we all just forgot about it.
That's
the fact that they outed like every fucking person with money.
Politicians with ass. Kim Kardashian is not even a politician, but she has ass, so people listen. We look at her and we're like, ass is talking? Well, what's ass have to say? So where are the Sarah Palins with ass injections? Is all I'm getting at.
Nailing Palins.
AOCs. Never mind. Continue.
I'm just saying that America has gone pretty fucking stupid.
Well,
it's been the case. It's been the case. It's just now that.
Oh, look at 50% of the populace doesn't fucking vote.
I'm not gonna.
Oh my God.
And on that note, I'm gonna leave Cliff and Matt to argue on this one.
I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna go take a piss.
Oh, Cliff.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna waste my gas money. And why should I? Why should I, Matthew? Let me ask you.
Okay, all right. So I guess this goes back to the idea of the statistics. Everybody thinks that statistics don't matter because it's the broad spectrum. This is the whole population, and what do I matter as an individual amongst all these statistics? I feel like there's the same mentality that goes into voting.
No, that's not at all my mentality. My mentality is, as an African American or a minority in this country, it doesn't matter who's in the office. Nothing changes for me. Nothing changes for me. There's been no difference from a George W. Bush to an Obama to a Trump. Nothing at all has changed for me. The only difference is between Obama and Trump is now we have racists that will say, I don't like you to your face, which I much more prefer than a racist that will.
I don't think racism ever went away. Racism has been here forever, and it just got swept under the rug.
But that's here nor there. The bottom line is my best friend, said it best. All changing the president is changing the warden to the penitentiary.
Right.
Once again, it does not matter who we put in the office if we have a system that is fucked in the beginning. So
how do you change it? How do you change it?
It's not for me to change, though, because there's still an amendment in place saying that I'm still 3/5 of a human being. Still to this day. You feel what I'm saying? So if shit like that is still going on, then it's not for me to change. I have no idea. But why should I vote to help someone else pad their pockets when nothing's trickling down to me but blame?
Well, I think the biggest problem with our system is that we elect officials to just take care of things. And we show up on election day, and you think you cast a vote, and you put somebody in office, and then everybody just kind of goes on autopilot and expects this person that you voted for to just take over and run the ship. And when things don't go right, all you do is point a finger. Nobody actually raises their hand to actually, hey, let me as an individual do what I can to make the world better.
Let me stop you, because I agree with you 100% and wholeheartedly. But that has nothing to do with us.
That has everything to do with us.
No, that has nothing to do with, and when I say us, I mean specifically us as black people. We've tried everything to try to open the eyes to people of what we're going through and how to make things better, and nobody is listening. And we still
tried to blame you for Trump getting elected. The blacks didn't come out and vote.
Why now should I change the rhetoric and be like, oh yeah, let me help you get a better tax return or a better business loan by voting this person in, when it's not going to do anything for me? Nobody is helping me, so why do I care about who's in the office? What difference does it make?
I see your point. I think it's easy. I think it's very easy.
For any black person that is not a business owner, what point is it?
Right.
I think it's very easy to become what's the word? Disenfranchised.
Yep.
No, I agree there too. I'm just saying, until you listen to my voice, why would I show up for you?
How does your voice get heard?
It doesn't. That's the thing. That's what we.
There's not even. But to your
1968. Million Man March.
What and where did we come from?
How did black people get heard back then? They marched on Washington with a million people.
How many of them died? How many of those leaders died? And where have we come from?
A lot of them.
Right, most of them. And where have we come from? We've come nowhere from there. Most of them has died. What's the incentive for us?
Okay, so look at the progress they made. Okay, well, I mean, you gotta look at it in terms of progress they made.
Let's be a Mexican. Let's stay out the way. Let's keep our mouth shut and just stay out the way. That gets us better.
Well, and I mean, to the point, what I find interesting is that whites will very soon be the minority in this country in terms of true population.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
they are already they're a majority, but a minority, meaning they are less than 50% of the population in the United States.
Right.
And yet, no campaign that I heard from the Democrats all fucking primary season spoke directly to blacks and Latinos. And the one or two that didn't get any fucking airtime.
I mean, it's not.
Because what it was world. Like? Because it was what? It was like Cory Booker and who?
It's just not our world. That's the long and short of it is it's not our world. This is not our world. We don't have a voice in it.
And guess what? Even where we started to have a voice for not necessarily blacks, but for, we'll call it the progressive sect, Bernie bows out.
Which I didn't listen.
Did we talk about that last week?
Yeah,
I can't remember. We did a little.
We didn't talk about it. We touched.
Which I still can't believe.
Well, I think we brought it up for like half a
second.
Yeah, we brought it up for like half a second and then quickly moved on. So
listen,
let's go into it because I know Matt. I'm sure you've got some points on that, and I know I do. So
honestly, I didn't do a lot of research into his dropout. I just heard that he dropped out. And I just got my my absentee ballot so that I could put in my primary vote here,
right?
Because that's how it's got. But
you didn't have to waste gas to vote this year.
No, you just
you just waste a stamp. You waste 55 cents with the stamp.
Carpal tunnel or arthritis. For what?
But that's the way I'm looking at it. I mean, what the hell is the point of the primary? I mean, I can vote on who's going to be the judge that fucks me.
Right. Well, and I mean, and you probably have a different representative than I do.
Yeah, no, we're in a different district.
Mine is Joyce Beatty versus Morgan Harper.
Oh, no, we're in the same district. Okay. Joyce Beatty is mine.
Is Morgan Harper the young one?
Yeah.
The young
But Joyce Beatty has been entrenched in this district for fucking like 20 years, man. She ain't going anywhere.
And what the fuck has she done?
Right.
Nothing!
Right. Like, I know I'm putting down Morgan. Like, I'll Morganize.
Now that's one thing.
Speaking of Morganize,
well, I mean, we want to get into the rabbit hole of redistricting and all that shit.
Oh well, gerrymandering and all that.
I don't know anything
about
the young.
I mean, seriously. I mean, they talk about disenfranchising the public, man. That's fucking number one right there.
Well, no doubt, but that all comes down to local elections, and people don't pay attention to local elections. They pay attention to.
Seriously, that's my point. Going back to, I mean,
exactly
seriously.
What I was going to say, I'm more inclined to go out for my local situation than I ever would for my.
Okay, so I mean, when was the last time you voted in a midterm election versus generally? You can't even get. All right, we barely get for Barack Obama. 60% showed up for the general election in 2008, and it was actually like 58 or something percent in 2012. 2008 was a high watermark for a general election, and that's the biggest turnout you get in any election. Midterm elections is like 33% of the population. Right. 1 in 3 shows up. That's fucked up.
Right.
Nobody cares. It's on autopilot.
It is. And unfortunately, that's where everybody, like all of the districting and all that happens at the local level.
Exactly.
Nobody, like
everybody shows up for the big general election to decide who's president, when the people that are running your town, that are running your state, have all the power in determining how the big picture gets played out.
Because they have already redistricted you. They've already gerrymandered the entire state into, well, we can give up this one slice of Democrats because by doing that, we can craft 8 Republican districts.
Well, and you know what? I've heard the arguments on this, and Democrats say that they would do the exact same thing if they could, at least in Ohio, but they just lost their foothold, and now they can't.
Right. Well, and I mean, on top of that, like, if you ever want to know anything about gerrymandering, and I'm talking to the audience here, go out and look at Arnold's videos on that shit. Like, Arnold, he did the best videos on gerrymandering because he explains it to the dumbest degree, and he's absolutely right.
You gotta get
how can you not trust Arnold?
How can you not trust Arnold?
Well, unless you're a female. Eating is not cheating.
I don't know, Arnold.
I don't know. If you ever see Bill Burr's breakdown of Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's quite epic.
I have such mixed feelings about Bill Burr.
I fucking love Bill Burr.
My man.
It's funny that you say you have mixed feelings about Bill Burr, because I love him for the same reason why I love you.
Oh.
And that's 100.
He's a straight shooter, that guy.
It's not even that he's a straight shooter. It's that, let's be 100. Okay, I got a perfect analogy. Listen, and just to prove this, let me show you. All you need to see. So, you're setting.
It's on the list.
Organically,
it is. It's his one note for the week.
Right. Other than I got the Blue Lights for Heroin and Rocky being one of the most overrated movies. I agree with that. Somebody said that, and I agree. Rocky is.
We're gonna come back to that one.
The most overrated.
We're gonna come back to that one.
Ever
Which one?
We're gonna come back to that one. We're gonna come back to that one.
All of them, including Creed. All of them. Okay, we'll go back. We'll come back. All of them, including the black one. All of them. Awful. I won't say awful. I'll say overrated. But Rocky makes sense why that was overrated. That makes sense. But this is why Bill Burr is refreshing to watch. Mostly because he has a black wife. And she's black. Like, she's not, like, you know what I mean? Like, one of those, like,
right.
I'm half black, or
Dude, I love Nia, man. She calls him out all the time on this podcast.
So, that's exactly why I say I love him. Because it was a situation. I was watching have you watched the Bill Burr podcast?
No. Oh, no, I did catch, like, 15 minutes of one.
You need to watch those. Those are great. But
it did look funny.
They were having a conversation. And Bill Burr says, what did he say to her? I didn't even write it down. That's how I know my notes are awful. Oh, don't go there. They were talking about a restaurant. And he said, oh, don't go there. But he caught himself and was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like don't go there." You know what I mean? But most white men wouldn't think like that. That's honest to God truth. Like, you don't think about how somebody else takes your words because your words are
right.
So it's like when he said, "Don't go there like that," he was thinking like he was talking to Bert, like he was talking to his wife, like, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Like, I was getting an attitude, like, don't go there. I meant don't go to that restaurant." Right. And the fact that he corrected himself in that situation, that's something that you don't see a lot of white men do.
Yeah. Well, he had a whole bit about that back in like 2012. Is everybody doesn't have enough diversity in their group.
I agree wholeheartedly. And listen, this is why to tie this all back in. The reason why I said why I love you so much is because you didn't come up the way every other person of your race did. You were the minority
in my group of people.
In arguably the roughest neighborhood in Columbus, Ohio. You literally got your ass beat.
It's true.
On dailies because you were the minority in that situation. You came out of it, you prevailed, and you still did your thing regardless.
And then my dumb ass moved right back to the same fucking neighborhood.
You don't get your ass beat no more, do you?
That's true.
Story of a drug dealer. Now you get us. I'm just playing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just playing. But what I say that to say,
I actually have that thought a lot. Would I make more money if I was just selling drugs?
You would.
I'm sure a lot of people have that.
Factually, you would. First of all, you know a neighborhood we're in.
I make decent money.
Nobody's thinking about you, and everybody's coughing. But
second career,
right?
Well, I read a book back in college about that.
Hold up, real quick though. But the only reason why I said that is because that's a black plight.
Yeah.
You came through it growing up. You knew when you had to keep your mouth shut. Because nobody's going to help me in this situation. Who's going to come out of the alley and stop them from whooping my ass in this situation? Right. No one. So I have to learn when to shut my mouth. I have to learn when to walk fast, when to walk slow, when to act like everything's cool, and when to know that there's danger around.
Right. Or when you can use intimidation to your advantage.
Which is why you're cognizant of the situations that I go through in certain situations. A lot of people don't get that.
Right.
And whether you actually understand it from that perspective or not, it's the exact same thing.
I mean, for me, we talked about this, I think, early on in our first couple of episodes, but I understand it, too, from the standpoint that I have been pulled over probably around 10 times in my life. 8 or 9 of them were because I had a brother in the car with me. Like, no, I get it. Because guess what? Wasn't doing anything more illegal than what I do by myself.
You know what's crazy to me is I can say, honestly, 60 to 70% of the time I get pulled over, guns are automatically drawn.
Oh, no doubt. One of the worst ones I ever saw was actually right in front of my fucking house. This lady got pulled over right here on Cole. And dude got out of his car screaming with a gun.
Yeah.
And I am literally standing in my dining room window with my phone up, like, taking the picture, like, I'm waiting for some shit to go now because I'm going to fucking help nail this.
That's the reality.
Dude.
That's the reality of the situation.
That's bullshit.
And a lot of the times, and the reason why I brought that up is a lot of times it's like I'm walking on the sidewalk with ants there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a drastic. You know what I mean? What I'm saying.
But I know what you mean there.
But like you don't ever think about the ants. You don't think about what the ants are going through or how they have to dodge your footsteps. You don't think about that because you don't see them there.
Right.
You don't see what they're going through, so you just walk tall like you normally do.
Yeah.
But in situations in life, it's a lot of ants around you, bro. Just be cognizant. We're around too.
Be able to be an ally to that kind of shit. Like that's the kind of stuff that, and I find it interesting. And I'm gonna say this, and she'll probably get mad at me for it. I'm proud of my wife for doing the work because I think she grew up in a very white environment and I don't think she recognizes everything, but she also does the work on a day-to-day basis where she is trying to address that. Based on our
conversations, she is very aware of things that go on.
Agreed, and I think that is something that I will take a little credit for like helping her understand that, because there have been times, especially early in our marriage, where I was like, you said that, and let me tell you how
she lived in Buffalo before, bro.
Right.
Look at
how I would interpret that, having grown up here and grown up where I did. And I mean, what I will say is, like, she's always all about how does she do better outreach to, because let's face it.
Oh, I love her.
She teaches in a district that is largely white and pretty well off. You know what her number one concern is, though, is that area right there on Livingston that is technically part of Bexley.
Right.
And that is like, we go there. We go to I think it's called like Shenley Park or something, right there off of right behind the Tim Hortons and shit. Mm-hmm. And we are there once a week with the kids in that apartment complex, which there's not a lot of apartment complexes in that neighborhood. I didn't even
listen. You know what's funny? What's funny though? I'm not even trying to be funny. It may sound bad to a lot. I only know of one apartment complex in Bexley. Dope gets sold out of it.
I mean, I believe it. But at the same time,
I'm not saying all apartment complexes are bad or anything like that. No. I'm just saying it's probably a reason why it's not in Bexley.
The major apartment complex there, though, is the one right there off of Shenley Park. It's right there on what is it, Sheridan and I don't know, Mayfield and Sheridan.
Not across from what is the name of that big? It's like a restaurant or something. Not the Rusty Bucket.
The Peking Dynasty. No, the one on Livingston. This is between Livingston and Maine.
Okay.
So there is just the first block north of Livingston is technically Bexley. And there's an apartment complex there. I think it's off of Mayfield.
Okay.
And like that's the kids that she's worried. And I think she has done a great job of doing the work there, but then at the same time I'm looking at it and like, okay, so like why is it that 75% of the kids that come from that particular area are on IEPs?
What's that?
IEPs, individualized education plan.
Oh. I'm sure you can imagine.
Right. Like,
and Bexley is a tricky character because you are literally surrounded by rough areas.
At
every edge of your.
But what I find interesting is, so they've actually done a lot over the last 2 years about, conversations about race. And they've actually brought in, like, professors and that kind of stuff to, like, have had real conversations. And one of the things that got discussed was, you have to acknowledge and accept the racist history that sits behind your school district.
Was there one?
Bexley was built on keeping people out of it.
Oh, right. Well,
they have their own police force.
I've known that.
Right.
I've known that since.
Well, and that was my whole thing. I'm like, no shit, really?
But you know what's
crazy? Because how
many
times did Gordon or Athonia get pulled over in Bexley going the speed limit?
My grandmother.
Right.
My grandmother has literally not her mother before she passed this year. Was it 2020 or 2019? 2019.
Way, rest in peace.
2019, Gibby. You remember Gibby?
Oh, yeah.
2019, January. She died 99 years old. 99 years old. I said, Lord Jesus, don't give me those genes. I'm trying to be out here mid-70s.
I'm trying to get the fuck out.
I don't give a fuck what Karma's doing. Mid-70s, I'm trying to wrap this bitch up. You hear what I'm saying? But nonetheless.
I'm sure you sing a different tune at 75.
Listen. All I'm saying is, what am I saying?
I don't know.
What was I saying? What were
You're talking about Gibby not driving through Bexley. Yeah. Or driving through Bexley. I don't know.
She lives Bulin, where she lived Bulin in Maine. Right there. Nelson Park.
Yep.
Right off Nelson.
Yep.
Not Nelson Park, but you know what I'm talking about. You know where my grandmother lived? She had to drive through. She drove the long way around Bexley
basically up to Stelter where
for
it became...
30 years. For as long as I've been alive.
Yeah.
Because she will not drive through Bexley being black.
I believe it.
I drive through Bexley with my music blaring, daring someone to pull me over.
I wish a motherfucker would.
Daring someone to pull me over.
Well, I mean, that was the big thing, and this might give it away, but that was the big thing with her school last year, was that a parent had the cops called, and there were 5 or 7 cop cars that showed up.
Why did they
and
call
basically
the cops
embarrassed this dude? Like he was
talking. He didn't know he was picking his son up. They didn't know he was picking his.
It wasn't necessarily
seen him before.
Wasn't picking him up, but that's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
I'm nervous.
Exactly what it was. Exactly what it was.
That's
and
what
Char,
I'm saying, though.
And my wife was super upset about it, and I'm like, but that's fucking Bexley. Like, it was. It was
they're pretty bored over there.
It was a staff member that called
for the kid that goes there.
Yes,
and let me be 100% honest,
their
America,
class. It wasn't their class.
I would be looking to smack the shit out of that staff member.
Oh, no doubt.
I'd be going to jail for putting me through that situation in front of all these people. I'm smacking the shit out of you.
Well,
yes, that's how I get down.
And what caused a lot of friction at the end of the school year was, like, Char didn't go after this staff member that called.
You should have. Well, no, she shouldn't have.
But she tried. But she tried. But she is on the whatever their diversity and inclusion. I don't remember what it's called for schools, but she's on that committee, and she basically like forced her school to talk about it because they weren't going to talk about it as race being a central issue of that. Like they tried to make it like a safety and awareness thing.
But CC Greenwave though.
What about
CC Greenwave though?
ECC. East Side Coalition.
St. Thomas, Christ the King, and St. Catherine's?
Right.
Those are the only urban Catholic schools.
No doubt.
In Columbus.
No doubt.
So, I mean, that's just me playing devil's advocate.
I'm with you.
Why'd you bring those 3 together? Bexley brought Cassidy with Livingston? Why did you bring those 3? Like, how did we come that? And then we won championships for them.
Well, yeah, because we had all the black kids.
And then you still have the nerve.
We had the only black kids in the league.
And then you still have the nerve to be like, well, what are these black parents showing up to pick up the running back, son?
Right. The running back, the quarterback, the receiver, the DB, the middle linebacker.
It's just crazy.
I mean, the only white kids on that team were us on the offensive line.
What's crazy is that's a microcosm of the world we live in.
That's exactly what it was.
Like, yeah, we'll do everything you ask, but you'll still call the police on us when we act right.
Right.
So why not tear shit up?
Fuck it.
Honestly.
Did you guys ever see that movie Bullworth?
Bullworth?
Yeah. Back in like mid-90s, I think it came out.
I know exactly when it came out because we talked about the Scrambler. I was recording movies for...
He was recording porn.
Oh. Mostly
Let's
porn.
be honest.
Mostly porn. Mostly porn. But I got a couple movie
Slightly
requests.
scrambled.
No, this was clear shit. This was back in the 90s. What I didn't have
That's
to hold
what he's
no
saying.
antennas.
He had the scrambler.
Listen.
And
then once it got big, it turned into the Dish Network satellite.
I think one of the most prolific lines that I've ever heard come out of that movie is that he was up on the stage towards the end of the movie, doing some debate, and like somebody asked him about race relations, and he's like, "What the fuck? What? We all got to keep fucking each other until we're all the same color? Is that how we're gonna get along?"
I mean,
I thought that was brilliant.
That's it,
right? No
you remember Miss Jorgensen
that's what we gotta do.
Used to say that. Back in at St. Catherine's, she used to say that. She used to say, "We live in a melting pot, and eventually all of us will be the same color one day."
I mean, but even then, it got me thinking though. Even once that happens, will we still find ways to differentiate each other?
Of course we will.
Short, tall, fat, small,
poor, rich.
All of
poor, rich was the one that struck my mind. There's going to be the economics that always plays the game.
See that I don't think that will be the case. I don't think there ever will.
Not if you believe Star Trek.
No, fuck Star Trek. I believe in gangs in New York. And what I'm saying is, I don't think that there will.
Two very different viewpoints.
Right, very, very. And fools can agree on that. Different viewpoints. But I believe that. What were you talking about?
I don't know. You came in very vehemently that you knew what you were going to say.
You said something. I said gangs.
I said sounds like Star Trek in terms of everything was going to melt together and we're all going to be peace and unity. And
so that's what I was
gangs
saying.
in New York, and
Perfect.
I said those are two very different things.
I don't think it'll be economic because when we get to that point, I think it'll be a what's the word I'm looking for? My mind's going. It'll be a risk to even say I have money.
Actually, no. You know what? Go back to your point there. Gangs in New York. That's a very
if you say I'm rich, I come from money, then bitch, I'm taking you up top right now. What's somebody gonna do about it?
Right.
Well, look at who are the feuding factions in Gangs in New York? They're all white.
And there was rich and poor.
No, I mean there was rich. Rich was like a very small segment of it. It was poor white people against poor white people.
I thought they were.
They just had differences, because they were like the Native Americans, quote unquote.
I don't know enough about white people. I need to do my history. Shit,
no, I mean, you saw the fucking movie.
12 years of school didn't do it. I don't know.
Hey, quick shout out to the chat. My boy Dean out there.
My Dean!
He says St. Thomas stand up.
But you wasn't CC Green Wave, young brother.
But was he in Gahanna with you at one point?
Was he? I think he was.
Yeah, I was about to say, because you two, I think, knew each other before I introduced you.
I don't think we knew each other via football, though.
Okay, that makes sense.
No. We met.
I don't know. He'll probably chime in the chat when this all catches up to him listening live. So, what up, Dean?
My G.
Was he in Gahanna with you?
Are you pulling up the YouTube there, Matt?
I am. I just want to see how many people are watching live.
We've got 3 viewers right now. All you got to do is ask. And one of them's our guest.
I figured
computer.
I wouldn't bother, but damn, apparently this microphone works really well.
It's all right. Listen, it's okay. They'll watch on the back end.
Right, no doubt. They do. I mean, honestly, we're still hitting 30 views a week on YouTube and another 10 on the podcast. So
listen,
we're almost to 50 views a week average.
I'm now wondering is there a redundancy between the podcast and the views?
I don't think there is.
No, I wouldn't think so.
But it's possible, I guess.
I watch them both.
Oh, dude.
Right.
I try to just watch one.
Three handsome devils. Who wouldn't want to see that?
That's true. No,
you're about the handsomest undercover I know. So, and I at least want to memorize your face in case something happens, and I'm like, I know that guy.
That motherfucker.
I know you,
I know that guy and that Crown Vic. I know you sons of bitches.
Oh, it's the Vic. It's the Vic in the background that gets me.
No, I'm just playing. But,
it's not an accident.
So I want to call out real quick.
Right. He got his headphones tucked under his
right.
and tape between his
right.
My shit's hanging, man.
We tried the wireless ones. He just didn't like the fact he didn't have it in both ears.
Right. The fact that the adhesive didn't stick to his chest hair.
It rips out my chest hair. Goddamn it. I'm not shaving for this shit.
He said, "Down by the beach, boy.
The devil is not welcome here."
Well, I'm not going to be able to go to the beach for the next fucking year and a half, so.
Yeah.
Why not?
They shut it down, man.
The beach?
Yeah.
I've never been to a beach in my entire life.
Really?
Other than Alum Creek.
Wow.
I'm in Alum Creek Beach.
All right, Cliff. We're gonna change that.
We're gonna do a remote location in Myrtle Beach one, or Virginia Beach.
Right. No, you know what? We'll go low class. We'll go to Lake Erie.
You said class and Lake Erie in the
Just
same
let me
sentence.
know when we're going. I gotta get an Ohio State swimsuit.
We're gonna go right off the coast of Toledo.
Those bikini briefs, right?
Where the water fucking kills you.
Whichever they come in. I might get both. I might surprise the motherfucker and strip out my trunks into bikini briefs. Oh, you didn't know,
You know
I was
what?
double bagging motherfuckers?
Come August, we're gonna go up to Kelly's Island. How about that?
Where's where is it?
Kelly's Island up
Where's
in
that?
Lake Erie.
I'm with whatever. All you gotta do is let me know.
I mean, it's not fucking Myrtle Beach or nothing. But.
Listen, I don't know what to expect in Myrtle, so Kelly will work perfect. I usually like Kelly's more than Myrtle's anyway, so seems like that'll work. Baby, I'ma be a motivation.
You're my darling angel. Is that was it? Was that it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I thought you were...
No, hey, you know what? That brings up a point. Going back to what you were talking about.
Cliff just spit up shit.
Oh,
His
Cliff.
face.
Stop it.
Can't take you anywhere, man.
Stop it. Oh, it's over, ladies and gentlemen. The podcast is over. Podcast is over.
It burns in the
We're
nostrils.
ending it on Shaggy. That was Shaggy, sir.
It was.
I was singing Kelly Rowland.
Oh, my bad.
Oh my goodness, he didn't get the
You were
sex
doing the
right.
voice.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
I want you to go back and
Mike-
listen to those Shaggy lyrics and tell me that I'm wrong.
Oh, you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Right now, you're wrong. Woo. Oh man, that was hilarious.
You're gonna be stinking like
Yeah.
Elvis juice.
Well, you know, the entire attic smells like beer, so it's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, the podcast studio.
Listen, I didn't get too much. It just hit. I got
not
one,
worried about you. You're
Listen,
all right.
one little drop. Didn't get no.
It got all over your face is what I found hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
That's what that pop screen's for. It's not actually to prevent
Right.
pops in the microphone.
Right. I'm glad.
Because
It's
meanwhile,
for
he's
actual-
blowing air on it from the side with the way he's wiping his fucking...
You can't do none of that. Oh man, that was funny though.
So, I don't know if we were going to talk about the government trying to reopen shit or the NBA horse tournament. Anybody got anything on our two topics that we put out there?
Wait a minute. Hold up. I heard rumors that the UFC is going to try to do like a fucking island fight.
They've been talking about that for months.
Just one?
Yeah, no, like, well, I thought it was supposed to be this weekend.
No, they canceled. You obviously didn't listen to the show last week, Matt.
Damn.
They canceled UFC 429. That was one of our main topics.
We did talk about
I'm sorry. I was having technical
Tony Ferguson,
difficulties.
Jessica
Oh,
Cage.
you mean you weren't listening?
It's all right. Listen,
I'm
once
just
they
giving
say
you shit, man.
once they say it's an off day for me, I go to sleep.
Right.
Oh, I'm off. All right, I'm not watching.
I'm done. Gone.
Right.
Look, I tuned in for half of it.
Right.
I'm not mad at you.
He's one of our 10 views.
And we count on him. That's why you're on every week, because we need
Seriously.
you.
No, that's the redundancy I'm talking about because I watched the damn thing and then I listened to it too. So that's two for right there.
I do
All
that.
right.
I'm glad.
See, I don't ever really watch it. I usually just do the podcast version.
I appreciate you, sir. That's for you. This brew's for you. Which one's for you?
I mean, we've earned a total of 47 cents on our ad placement for the podcast. So, you know, we're working on it. Baby steps.
My $23.50.
You're $23.50.
You didn't do any impressions this week. So where's the cash at? I was hoping for an impression dollar. Oh, where's the dollar? That wasn't bad, though. Give me 50 cents.
Not a bad Elmo.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Elmo has
something long, ready,
to show you.
Elmo had a play date this week on HBO.
Did he really? Was it a Skype? Now that's what I do want to talk about.
It was a whole Zoom thing for. They were basically It was just an episode of Sesame Street, and it was. They basically pretended like it was a virtual play date, like kids are doing right now with Zoom or with FaceTime or whatever. It was an interesting concept. I was disappointed they didn't actually talk about like the virus or why they were staying at home, because usually Sesame Street's not afraid to go to those kind of topics. But it was literally just
they raise our kids for us.
Elmo calling people, like they didn't talk about the virus at all or why people were staying at home. So that was a little disappointing.
I'm sure they'll get there. I mean, come on, it's kind of like it seems like an eternity for us because we've been in it for a month, but
it's only going to be relevant for like another month. Like if they were going to do something, they needed to do it. They needed to say something about what was
going on. They still got a whole other month to do it.
I'm telling you right now, didn't know that they're trying to get everything to go back to normal that quick.
It ain't gonna go back to normal. We're in it for the long haul. And everybody I'm listening to that's talking about this in terms of
the next month, we're going to be in this till October.
No, so what I think is being discussed is May 1st they're going to start opening not everything. Schools won't open until the next school year. So
they're going to slowly roll this thing back out. The same way they ratcheted everything down, they're going to roll it back up.
Except it's going to take longer to roll it back out than it did to ratchet it down.
Right.
Yeah, who are they rolling it up to? Who are the first people going back?
So what I think will happen is what they will say, and this is, I can't remember where I read this, so I could be completely wrong. What will end up happening first is kind of non-elective medical, meaning like people being able to go to the doctor's office just for normal checkups, those types of things.
That should happen.
And then that'll roll to elective medical and beauty and like personal grooming.
That kind of seems counterintuitive right there because, I mean, those are the hot spots.
They've been doing that.
Yeah, but the flip side, so when you say the hot spots, are you talking about the medical?
I'm talking about medical, hospitals in general, if you want to go into, like I could see if you wanted to go into, your dentist again. You know,
right. That's what I'm saying, though.
Open that kind of thing up. But if you want to go in and get plastic surgery done, you're going to like a major medical center.
So one of the first things to open will be just kind of regular doctor's offices and giving people the opportunity to go back. Not all of them. And more of that is more around to the point of they've been doing a lot of virtual in that space. Because you and I, we talked about this last week or the week before about how your grandfather couldn't go in to get prescriptions.
But they said that he had to.
Right, but he couldn't, I thought.
Right.
Well, they do like a virtual like my
do you see what I'm getting
my coworkers had to do that. He had to do a virtual consultation with his doctor.
Right. But it's a situation where they're telling people he had to go. They told him he had to go in, and nobody was there for him.
Right.
This isn't happening to just 1-2 people.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that they will start to. That'll be one of the first things that kind of comes back and opens up.
My whole thing is.
All right. So what's stage 2?
My whole thing is this, though. They denied him for his prescription refill.
Okay.
Before he got the video consultation. So they tried to say basically because he wasn't seen when he came in because they were closed, they weren't going to fill his prescription. Why? If you were closed and he couldn't be seen, but he came to be seen, why would you not fill his prescription? Because
what's he on a prescription for?
This all comes back to capitalism. It all comes back to, like we said originally, months ago, population control. This is population control. If you knew that this affected people above 65 years and older, why would you not fast track all medication for those people so they have everything they need while in quarantine? Why are you?
Well, I think we can all agree. We can all agree, fools and everybody aside. We can all agree that the medical system is broken.
Yeah, absolutely.
The entire system is broken. It's not just the medical; it's everything.
Well, the medical system is definitely broken. We can all agree on that one.
Now I know that for a fact. I'm not gonna tell you how I know. Tune into old episodes. Right. I know that for a fact, though. That's factual.
And I'm hoping that like the one silver lining that comes out of this damn thing is that we start to figure out the broken pieces of that mechanism and fix it.
Listen,
yeah,
I didn't want to bring it up. What's the dude? David Benavidez. Did you see that? I'm sure you didn't see that. This is what I'm going to need both of you to do for me.
Okay.
Download World Star Hip Hop to your phone.
I mean, I'm assuming I can just go to the site.
No.
No, we have to download an app.
Download it to your phone. Because this is going to be a homework assignment for future podcasts.
I don't read articles you send me. You think I'm going to download an app?
I don't either. Do you think that I'm going to read something? All I'm saying is a lot of the things that bring up topics for me or the things that I talk about are from World Star Hip Hop. And there's a lot of videos and information and things that go through that.
It's downloading now.
Please do. What was your question?
Oh, this guy's on.
I don't remember.
I don't either. That's the issue. But there was a reason why, because basically the truth is in World Star Hip Hop, like the Bible.
How so?
I was just saying shit. I'm surprised God let
so
me do
we
that
agree.
I was gonna with thunder and
reiterate that. Can we elaborate on it?
I'm still alive. So maybe if I walk out to my car this evening and I get struck down by thunder and lightning, then we know that was bad.
That was not a good analogy.
Yeah, wasn't right.
So meanwhile, medical opens up first. And then elective medical.
Okay.
Oh, did that trigger?
All right, so stage 3. What's beyond medical?
You knew what we were talking about this whole time. I said, what were you just talking about? You said, I don't know what you were talking about.
I don't know where you were. What specifics? Yes, we were talking about medical. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I still don't remember. Go on.
You son of a bitch.
that whole upset response is clear.
Clear
so
again.
Continue, please.
So we went from medical to elective medical. I think personal grooming or personal health will be part of that.
Fuck your grooming
next.
And your health.
I'm not.
You really
I'm
think
gonna go get a
hair
massage.
salons are gonna be opening up the next thing?
Absolutely, I do.
And I don't think we,
really,
as in.
I mean, because I don't know that Cliff wants to cut my son's hair
give
again.
Give them a motherfucking dollar. Nah, I'll cut your son's hair anytime.
I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about educated white women that want their hair
not
done.
You.
I'm just thinking about like grand scheme of essential services.
Some of them too back in the day. Now I was a dog back in the day, but
see, I love my man here, and he did a great job cutting my son's hair.
I did an okay job. I did an okay job for as much as.
I think this is a fantastic statement about first world problems. What do we got? What do we got to roll out first? We got to roll out the grooming.
Right.
What did I say? Though? I said
sports.
I said
get an island.
I said personal health and grooming.
Get an island. We'll have sports and we'll bring barbers back. Will that keep you happy, Detroit? Out there on shit with guns.
Well, what I will say is that was actually what triggered like me wanting to have this conversation was the fact that the half of the the Reopen America consortium that Trump has put together is professional sports.
You sent me. Listen.
I sent it to you at the end. Yeah.
Oh, have you seen that Zombieland shit that happened?
No.
Have you guys seen that?
No, what?
The Zombieland shit that happened downtown?
No.
Downtown here?
You haven't seen it? Oh, fucking dude. I think HuffPost did the article on it. Yeah, check out the Trump rally / protest downtown Columbus at the State House to reopen everything.
Okay.
That happened just like 2 days ago. And seriously, the images are straight out of Zombieland. This shit is crazy. Number one, I don't understand why they needed to bring all their guns to it. Like everybody's got an AR-15 on their chest, which is fucking crazy.
If Detroit did, we're gonna too. Are we not OHIO? Detroit, you act crazy. We tenfold.
No, but no, seriously. There's a meme going around. I'm sure if you just type in Zombieland, Corona, protest, you'll get the meme. Yeah, no, it's like straight out of. You ever see Shaun of the Dead?
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's straight out of that movie. It's fucking hilarious.
Clubs.
The Rita,
clubs, no broken fences.
The Rita's chiming in. She says most likely grooming stuff will open up with only one client at a time in the shop at a time, which I think makes sense. So they're only going to be able to handle one person in the shop at a time or one client at a time.
So what is that actually opening up, man? That's like a fraction of their fucking revenue.
Let me just ask, because as a barber or an ex-barber, to be honest, it wouldn't make sense.
It's all going to be pre-scheduled. It's all going to be scheduled.
You're going to put one hairdresser of 15 back to work at a time.
No, because it would most likely be the owner of the shop. But regardless, it would still cost me more to come and open my shop for you than to leave my shop closed for $25.
How so?
Because the most I can do as one barber is 10 cuts a day.
But what I'm saying is you could have
maybe.
Most shops you could probably have 4 in there and still maintain social distancing guidelines.
You think?
And each one only has one client at a time.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. Because there are guidelines for booths, which is 3 feet apart, right?
Right, so you can only have half your booths.
2, right? So that's probably going to be 2 on each side of your shop.
Which was 4, which is how I got there.
And you're saying that,
hashtag math.
Right, and you're saying that.
But I'm not a barber, and this is rough math by White Boy Mike.
Though, but you're not talking bills and employment.
Economics, I'm not.
Right.
Because that's not my area of expertise.
So that's what I'm saying is, even if we have 4 people in the shop, you think we're covering rent?
I think
we might cover rent by itself.
Barely.
But what I'm saying
is, but not utilities.
Turning the power back on,
but you're not covering rent now, and you're still having to pay it.
Right, but we all know that it's dead right now.
You're not covering rent now, but you still have to pay it.
Listen, there's small business there's small business bailouts going on right now.
Right, and those bailouts still apply whether you're
that
open or not.
That pool's going to run dry. That pool of small business bailouts going to go dry.
That's fine though. Because now that's one thing with a barber that works. Because once those bailouts go dry, people are going to be wanting to go back to work.
Right.
They're not going to be wanting to go back to work with the afro.
Right. Okay, so here's really the only thing. Because Bernie Sanders, I heard this from Bernie it was like 2 weeks ago. Bernie was on Bill Maher, and he was talking about, well, what do we do to put everybody back, to get through this thing? He's talking about a further stimulus package. To continue to give small businesses loans to pay all their employees. Where the fuck is that money coming from?
But which is why the Dems...
You can't just keep printing money.
The Dems right now
but at the same time...
The Democrats right now have something in the House that is about a $4,600 stimulus package it's basically double what the first stimulus was. And it also covers families up to like $250,000.
But what's it for, though?
Same thing. It's still individuals on that side. But
all that is that's just a
where's this money coming from?
To spend money on the business.
Where does money come from to begin with?
They just generate it from the Fed.
Exactly.
Exactly. But that's based on an algorithm. It has everything to do with consumer confidence in the dollar and a lot of really technical economic bullshit.
It is and it isn't, though. Like,
it is, and I've been a conspiracy theorist on fiat currencies and the possible collapse of the dollar for about 6 years now. Because it's all based on consumer confidence in our ability to produce money.
At the end of the day, it's exactly what you just said. It is based on a theoretical construct of consumer confidence, and it is based on our GDP, probably more so in what we export than what we import, to basically say that, yes, we have the dollar value to cover the things that we are
saying. Well, GDP is GDP, no matter whether it's internal or external. GDP is GDP.
I hear you. What I'm saying is that regardless of what is produced, there is a theoretical economic value to it. There is not a real economic value to anything.
No, I mean, but that's my whole point, and that was kind of what got me, interested in this whole concept to begin with. It all started with that movie Zeitgeist, or documentary Zeitgeist. I don't know if you want to call it a documentary. You ever see it?
Haven't. Have heard about it though.
It's worth a watch. I mean, it's debunked, since then to a bit, but the theories behind it still hold weight.
Yeah.
And the concept is that since the 1930s, when they completely took us off the gold standard, that the entire economy, the value of the dollar, is not based on anything substantial. It's based on GDP.
Yep.
And so basically, this is all just a theory. This is yet to be played out.
Well, and on top of that, even gold as a currency never made sense. There's no intrinsic value in gold. I think that's what's interesting about every apocalyptic fucking scenario.
Fair point.
It's
fair point.
Water becomes the currency,
so valuable,
or food becomes the currency.
I mean, it's a rare earth metal. It has a lot of value, but I mean, you look at it indigenous populations of the Americas back before there was any real mechanical value of gold. I mean, we realized the technological value of gold. It has a lot of properties that are nifty and interesting, and we use electronics and all kinds of other things.
Yeah,
but even before that, the Aztecs, built temples out of gold, and they didn't even know the value of it.
Well, my whole point is there is no value of it. Silicon has more value than gold based on how we use it.
Silicone.
Right?
Makes big titties.
Right. That would be silicone versus silicon.
Silicone has more value. Listen, silicon, Andrew Yang, they didn't support him, so silicone is worth way more than silicon.
Makes titties and solar panels. That's all you need in life.
Flashlights and all that jazz. Silicone. Fuck silicon. They ain't doing shit, Andrew.
No. But the markets don't lie. Apparently, the entire world has some sort of value in gold.
I mean,
forever
until it doesn't.
No, I don't think it is.
Hey, you know what? Everybody's buy gold when things are down. No, I'm buying bullets when things are down. Because you can have all the gold in the world, but
trust lead more than gold.
You don't got enough bullets to predict. Yeah, exactly.
Whoever caused the movement.
All right. Hey, we're about at time. Anything you want to say about this NBA horse tournament? Because I thought it was trash. The 10 minutes of it that I watched.
I didn't think it was trash comparative to the fact that they were doing Worlds of Warcraft on ESPN.
Now, see, I'm all for it. At this point, I'm all for it.
They just hit him with 6 hits, 8 hits on that one hit. That's going to
Were they really doing World of Warcraft?
I don't know the difference. I don't know if it was Dungeons, World. I know it was
it was like an RPG type thing in the MMOR.
Wizards and fire and shit. That just hit him with 15 hits. That's going to take him down to 2 points. 2 points. If he gets hit one more time, it's going to take him out for the match.
I mean, I play Dungeons and Dragons, and I wouldn't want to watch World of Warcraft
online. I'm not saying that I wouldn't enjoy playing it. Never played it.
Oh, you should come over
sometime.
If I knew
You've never been to South Korea.
Right, if I knew how, I'm not saying I would not enjoy playing it. I'm just saying watching it on ESPN.
Oh, I can't imagine.
The Stay and Play Cup, have you seen that?
No.
So all the people from all the All-Stars from the soccer, the MLB, Real Madrid and all that.
Wait. Soccer would not be MLB, it would be MLS.
It's MLS.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's and that would not be Real Madrid.
That's Major League boring. Major League boring and Major League see us next week. Either way, they're both but they're playing online stay-at-home cups where we watch
them play FIFA.
which you know looks like tennis on Xbox.
Right.
If you're watching it, it's just.
It is super boring. I've tried to play it with my 4-year-old.
Hey, I like Pong.
But I would be more interested in watching Mortal Kombat competitions. You know what I mean? What the fuck am I watching FIFA for on ESPN?
So what you're saying is you would rather watch the NBA horse tournament than video games?
I'd rather watch the female WNBA draft.
That's on tonight. We're running against that right now.
Well, no, we gave them their shot. We may have.
That's why the viewership is down.
We may have more viewers, right? We may have more viewers.
I was about to just say we probably have more viewers than them right now.
And I'm not Shevchenko or whatever.
We lost 2 of our 5 viewers today.
We're down to 3. Son of a bitch.
Cheers to all. I'm glad that y'all made it.
Oh,
Enjoy
man.
this next half of your life.
All right.
Me, though. I'm here. I'll be here next week, God willing. I love you.
Matt, anything before we go? I'll let Cliff close it out.
Nah. Hey, if we make it to next week, peace be with you.
And also with you, my friend.
Stay strong.
Ash Wednesdays,
Hey, meanwhile,
Ash Fridays, Palm Tuesdays.
Meanwhile, go out, like, subscribe, all that good shit. If you really want to help us out, head over to streamlabs.com/foolproof entertainment. Look, Cliff's finally figuring it out. We might have to change the intro video.
Listen.
And on that note, Cliff, anything you got to take us out?
I think he said it the best. Like, add, subscribe. We trying to cancel some sons of bitches. I love you.
Love everybody. We love y'all. Matt, take it easy, man. We love you.
Love you guys too, man. You guys take care.
All right,
see you
take
next
it
week.
easy.
Next week, sir.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.